So every night I usually get on TikTok and I doom scroll endlessly until I find a particular topic that itches that funny part of my brain. And I spend hours watching videos about it. Recently, I dove down this rabbit hole of watching predator catchers. Now obviously this has been done for a long time through television. For example, like Chris Hansen's show To Catch a Predator, that came out when I was like a kid, and they've been doing this as a form of entertainment since I was a kid. But in the more recent years, I think it's become a little more common, sadly. And by that I mean, if you really think about it, it's a lot more common due to the fact that everyone has a lot easier access to the internet. Before my time, having internet in a home along with a computer was seen as almost a luxury. And there really wasn't much for kids to do on the internet back in the day other than just like play games on your mom's computer that didn't require internet because most games couldn't even do it. Even up into my childhood, it wasn't very common for someone to have their own computer or device. It was more like you had a home phone and a home computer. With this new day and age, everyone's getting their kid a phone, a tablet, or some other form of, I don't know, communication. And you see a lot more of this predatory, freaky-ass, abominable behavior from folks looking to prey on kids. Now that being said, a lot of the time these things happen, there's nothing done about it for some disgusting reason. People will just take their kids' phones and cuss out the creep that's on the internet, and it's all over. Instead of dealing with the problem and actually seeking justice for them and their kid, they just let the predator go, and then he just bounces on to the next one. Well, that's where predator catchers come in. They set up an account posing as a child, and they build this relationship up and talk to these people, and then they lure the predator to a location to quote-unquote meet up with said fake child, which usually ends in them being arrested. Now again, Chris Hansen is one of the founding fathers of doing this sort of thing, especially for the entertainment side. But To Catch a Predator was canceled maybe 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but a long time ago. And right now would actually be the time to have the show, in my opinion. Because like I said, it's a lot easier access to internet for everybody. And you could catch a lot more now because these predators aren't just, you know, in Catholic churches. Now, we have seen Chris Hansen appear in some similar projects that are about predator catcher stuff, and him kind of like guest starring, or again, having his own little thing on YouTube. There may even be a new show out that I don't know about, because I'm kind of just spitballing off the top of my head, but it kind of died off right as I feel like it would have been a peak thing to have. Now, also, YouTube blew up around the time that this show shut off, and it was becoming bigger and better than any TV station you could really find. And as time went on, I think a few creators had the idea of reviving this sort of thing because it was, again, such a big problem within the internet. People like Gideon, Skeeter Gene, I think that's how you say that, or literally the dude basically stealing the predator catcher's whole flow by naming themselves the Predator Poachers. These guys do the exact same thing that Chris Hansen did. They build up trust, lure the predator to a place and meet up, contact the police, and then give them the information. That's exactly what Chris Hansen used to do, but he used to have a little sit down with them and talk to them. Now, Gideon and all these other creators usually do this, but a lot of time it's not as professional as Chris Hansen was at doing it. A lot of it is scolding and, again, rightfully so. It's definitely deserving. Now, one weird thing is, in the infancy of these channels, it was very common for most of the predators they caught to get away without being charged due to the whole entrapment idea. Basically, if you set up a trap like this where it's kind of antagonizing someone to do the crime, there's this whole argument, well, if it wasn't there, or well, if it wasn't doing whatever, they wouldn't have done the crime, blah, 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 blah. Like those old videos of people stealing bikes and it was a damn chain wrap to it and they would fall off. Really, they couldn't get charged because that was a trap set for them. And they wouldn't have stole the bike, technically speaking, if it wasn't there set for them. But it doesn't make any sense because they still stole the bike. It just so happened to be chained up. I don't know. It's very weird, the legality system. But seriously, that is something that was a lot more common. They would get away and have no repercussions. Even to this day, sometimes that entrapment thing kind of fucks over the predator catchers now, and they walk off scot-free. The predators are good. With that happening as frequently as it does, a few channels were born. A lot of the channels I'm about to talk about have a plan A and a plan B. Basically, both of these plans go through the exact same process as before that I mentioned, with one slight change. They still are building a relationship. They still try and lure the predator up to meet with them and a hypothetical child. But here's the change. They beat the absolute fuck out of them. To which plan B is the fact that, okay, they know if the cops come, all they're going to have to do is show them the fact that this predator has been messaging a minor, a hypothetical minor even, but a minor. So basically they're invulnerable to getting the assault charge because they're rightful in doing so. And they even tell the predator this a lot of time because it's like, okay, well, oh yeah, call the cops. What are you going to tell them? Oh, I was here to do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And which is, again, I mean, they're right, really. They've basically found a beautiful loophole to beat the snot out of people. Do you get dragged on at work by your coworkers? Does your wife not respect you at all at home? Do you want an out to vent your frustrations? Try predator catching. For a small fee of a cell phone and a lot of time on your hands, you can get into a fight that you're guaranteed to win. If you start getting roughed up by your opponent, call the cops, and then tell everyone in the store around you why they're here, what their intentions are, and the fact that they are also assaulting you. Most of the time, even your general civilian will jump him with you, just in any case that he works out and is stronger. And I'd say the only time I get disturbed by this is when it's clearly a special needs person that does not know any better. But seriously, I feel like a lot of the times that you see these predator catchers that just beat the shit out of people, they're like, I don't know, man. I feel like they have their own issues going on. And they're taking it out on these preds. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against that. I feel like if they know what they were doing is wrong and they went and did it, there should be repercussions to every action that you have. You should get an ass beating. You should at least be scolded, something like that. But I also have to say that the way that Chris Hansen and all the other channels do it, there was nothing wrong with doing it the legal and right way. And I understand that, again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the times that entrapment thing can let someone get scot-free and not get charged because you technically, it's a hypothetical minor. It's not like it was a real minor. But this day and age, really and truly, even if you do that, if you look at these channels like in 2025, that's not a very common thing anymore. Because if you just show them the text messages, you don't even have to tell them that, oh, I was the minor in question. You could just say, hey, he was saying all this to a minor. And then bada bing, bada boom, he's charged. It's a very common thing for them not to really mention that. And again, usually the predator doesn't even know either. He really thought it was a minor. So he'd go, oh, well, I hope she's okay. It's kind of easy to get away with them not knowing it was a trap, which again, it's kind of scummy to lie to law enforcement in any way. But if you're doing something like this, I'm all for it. Just do it. Just lie. Even if I was a cop, I would arrest him anyway. I'd be like, hell, you said all this to a minor? All right, get in the back of the car. But really, the only time I get disturbed by them getting beat up is probably when it's clearly a special needs person that just does not know any better, and they just completely beat him up. Like if I'm really getting on a serious note where I'm not cutting up jokes and not making up anything at all, I really don't think this is right, especially when it comes to something like this. Hear me out. I'm not siding with any predator of any sort, and I never will. But if it's a special needs person that does not know any better, then I think there's other courses of action you could take up instead of that one. One of my favorite channels, which I actually don't know the name of because I'm pretty sure he's relatively new, but he literally asked everyone, he's like, there's help out there for like this sort of thing. We can get you help. If you will just talk to me and discuss it with me, we will get you help and you do not have to go to jail. I don't know who that is, but I've heard him say that like a million times, and I really respect him for that because I could not do that. There's no way I could tell someone, okay, well, this is a fixable problem, because it's a very sensitive thing for me. If Mini Lad If Mini Lad wanted to collab with me today and he's like, I got help, I'm fixed, I'm still gonna be pissed off at him, all right? But I still think there's a legal course of action you can take against anyone. And again, if it's someone that is special needs, I feel like you can take it in a different direction than scaring them and beating them up or doing anything of that sort, where you could really just kind of hash it out and get them help, counseling, and whatever it needs. Whether their guardian takes away the access to internet or whatever it takes, there's just fixable ways other than beating the snot out of them. One video that stands out to me in particular that really made me feel uncomfortable was this one guy gets tackled into a support beam. And obviously I'm not going to show it because this is YouTube and I don't even get monetized, but I don't want to get like completely fucking strike. It's really disturbing to watch, man. He really only has mild autism, but it still disturbs me to watch that regardless, because I try and have empathy for any human that God's created. And regardless of what they've done, I still just feel like it's at some level, you got to know that they're not fighting you and you're just beating them up. It's a very bully mentality. And again, you could argue that, well, the predator did seek out a child. So again, it's also another power dynamic of the same sort of like, okay, well, they're doing this to kids, so bullying a damn predator is not that big a deal because you're just doing it to them. But I don't know, just certain cases for certain things. Again, I just feel bad and I don't like seeing it, especially when it's someone that's special needs or, again, seems like they have a void of knowledge where they just don't know any better. But any other folks, it's fair game. Like, one of the funniest ones, but most violent ones, is definitely what I call the alley-oop and what everyone else calls the alley-oop. This is a two-man job at hand. First off, you need one person big enough to pick up the predator. Then you need someone that's good at target tracing, because you got to clock them in the chin as they fall down through the air. As violent as that is to watch, it is absolutely hilarious to me. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm sorry. I cried laughing the other night watching them execute this move on somebody, bro. Like, this is some WWE shit that I'd never seen it, all right? Like I said, in some cases, I think it is justifiable. In my opinion, some cases, I think both parties really should be charged. One with whatever charge the predators get, and then the other should be an assault charge at least. Or at least assault with a deadly pumpkin, because Yeah, there's a video of that too. They nearly killed a man with a pumpkin by hitting me in the back of the head. But again, I think it's also very excusable, especially if they try and fight back or grab you or run or something like that. Yeah, no, I'm down with it. Body slam their ass. But on a complete side note, other than that, and getting back to the funny shit real quick, I can't believe that the predator poachers get to catch celebrities. I'm pretty sure Vitaly even caught somebody famous from like Disney where they were a writer or something, or Nickelodeon. And then I'm pretty sure the predator poachers are the one that caught EDP-445 like 4 times, bro. He needs to go in the house. He needs to get beat up, all right? Because he's been doing this for like 86 years. Even some cases, the predator gets hurt without anyone from the actual catcher's crew doing it. One of my favorite videos is actually when Vitaly was streaming and some civilian come by and just Money Mayweather the hell out of somebody when he found out what he did. And honestly, I mean, I hope that guy didn't get any jail time for that, because again, it's kind of justifiable, but he nearly unalived that old man. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this video isn't my usual content because I'm pretty much just talking about something. This isn't something that you can really have an opinion on, because again, it's just all wrong. But again, some things I guess we could discuss in the comments, but I don't know if you'd really want to discuss this shit. I don't even really want to talk about it, but I just think they're very funny videos, and I kind of wanted to shed a little bit of light on the fact. But hey, I change up my videos every day, so obviously the next video is probably going to be me talking about a game, or I'm going to be doing something else. So if you guys enjoy this video and want me to talk about other topics and have the same style of video that this one is, just let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy this video, just let me know, and I guess I'll see you next time. I try and vary the videos as much as I can, so ain't no telling what's going to come out next week. Also, I'm recording this on my phone because my power's out, so this is awkward. Bye.